Okay, good morning everybody and welcome to today's session. Thank you for joining us. Today's webinar is going to be a guide to the recent Autodesk regional hubs and what this actually means to you. We'll also be discussing other data solutions that Symetri can offer to help you with should this be required. And throughout today's session, we will be doing polls so that we can better understand yourselves, your company and your data needs. There'll be some opportunity after the webinar today to book a consultation meeting with our specialist data team here at Symetri and discuss your needs further should you want to do that on a one-to-one basis. Or should you have questions throughout today's session, please feel free to post that in the chat on the system that we're using today. Or we do actually have a questions and answers session at the end of today's webinar so that we can have an open discussion about any questions that you would like to share with the group here today. So let me introduce you to the team. If we can just move the slide along. Thank you for that. We've got Nathan Carr, who's going to be running through the agenda with you today in a little bit more detail. And he's going to be guiding you through our data and solutions environment within Symetri. And then we've got Sean, who will be doing more of a deep dive into the Autodesk regional hubs and what this actually means to us and industry alike. Okay, so I'm just going to hand over to Nathan now.
Thanks very much. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. As Andrea said, we're going to talk about an introduction and why we're here today, and a general conversation about data. Where's that stored, and what does that mean to you? Sean's going to take us through the announcement from Autodesk, clear up any questions, and actually understand those regional hubs, the benefits of having more hubs to hold your data, but also sometimes the challenges to be able to utilize that ability a bit easier and to be able to help you deliver your projects to the expectation of your clients and to the wider project team. We will be talking about further the data pressures and challenges, moving data around from historical data through the different platforms and hubs that Autodesk have had and outside those environments, and some of the solutions that Symetri have come up with over the past few years, and to introduce you to the data team that can really start engaging with you and understand how we can, Symetri, help you with your data challenges. We'll be discussing some key takeaways from today, and most importantly, engage with you on open questions to be able to clarify any points around the hub and general data queries that you have. As Andrea mentioned, and for us really the key takeaway is we are here afterwards to engage with you directly to talk about your data, your challenges, and how Symetri can help you. There will be a link, as Andrea mentioned, at the end and throughout this webinar for you to be able to register for a private free consultation with our team. If you follow the link, it will be free of charge. If for whatever reason you can't follow the link on this webinar, our team will contact you afterwards to be able to give you the opportunity to register on a time that can suit you, and we can have a Teams meeting to go through your individual situations. Next slide, please, Sean. So for people that aren't familiar with Symetri, we are an Autodesk Platinum partner, but most importantly, we're the #1 Autodesk solution provider globally. Just one of those solution sectors is the data team. So we've got teams across all of the industry sectors, right through from design through to construction, and then building management. Today's the data team, and very relevant to today's challenges. We're here to be able to help you with our processes, our solutions, and our experience. And as we all know, data is paramount. That's what we create. That's what our main business objective is to create data to collaborate on that data, and then to be able to push that data towards any business or project objective. All of the key words that people are discussing in industry today, digital twin, AI, the Building Safety Act and Golden Thread, everything comes back to managing your data through consolidation and reusing the data to be able to move and push out to the people that need to access that data. It's key, it should be driving our business, and it really should be the key digital data roadmap that we should all fully understand so our business can align to that destination. Sean, the next slide, please.
Yeah, so thanks very much, Nathan and Andrea, for the intro and the explanation on data being key. What I'm going to focus on now and what has been recently announced by Autodesk regarding the hubs. But first, I just want to go in and just give an explanation as to the evolution of these hubs and how it's starting to become evident now that data is key. There's a fight for data now in the industry, and it's how we control it as a company and organization. So as people are not aware, BIM 360 started on an EU server. It was always on the EU server. Oh, sorry, started on a US server. It was where all people stored their BIM 360 data and their projects and so on. Then what happened then, customers, through requesting a new server being introduced on an EU location because of geolocation circumstances, they decided to create an EU server, and with that, they introduced the Autodesk Construction Cloud that sat on top of both the US and the EU servers. This then transitioned across then to an Australian server that people probably aren't aware of, that they can have access to as well in their hubs. So that had 3 servers that people could store or create their projects on. Then, as of recently, there was an explosion of 5 additional hubs. This is the Canadian, the UK, the German, the Indian, and the Japanese servers. So this is another 5 servers and hubs that you have access to create on your existing ACC accounts. So this meant that people could create these hubs and store the data within their local regions. So what does that mean to you as an ACC customer? You, with all these existing hubs, you might want to migrate all existing projects that were previously stored across on these hubs into whatever server you want to be controlled. You might want to use certain servers for tendering projects in the UK, for example, where as part of the tendering process, it's mandatory that you have a UK server where all your data is stored, files, folders, and the likes. This is a request that we have had been approached to us for many last couple of years. We've been asked, first of all, is there a UK server? Also, can we migrate files across? This is a step that we can work on, but there are limitations to note on this. One thing is that these are unique servers. You cannot migrate files across, but don't worry that we have Symetri solutions in place that can migrate between US to UK, UK to Germany, India back to UK. We have solutions in place to do this. Don't feel left alone. If you book a consultation, there's a link available, and we also have a QR code at the end where we can discuss, and you can book an appointment where we're going through a few Q&As that are coming through already on the interface. So this is just a key limitation that we want to relay back to you as our customers, that these are unique servers. Currently, you cannot migrate files across to these, but we have solutions in place that can assist that. So just moving on to Nathan on the data strategy.
Thanks, Sean. Next slide would be great. So as Sean mentioned, the opportunity to be able to move data to different hubs may be more key, actually, the more you discuss these with your clients and the wider project teams. We also believe, and Autodesk believe, that this is going to be a commercial benefit. That engagement with clients and projects, we have options now of where does the client want this data to be stored. So, as Sean highlighted, there are some limitations and there are workflows for this to be done easily, which we have. But it does raise the question, and the bigger question, of consolidation generally. As we all know from early days of delivering projects, all of our data was stored, well, firstly on hard copy and then onto local servers. And over time, we've migrated it to the cloud. This has given us huge benefit of more access to data, but it's also left a legacy of disparate data store. So as Symetri, we've noticed this over the last several years, and we've come up with a suite of solutions that can help us consolidate data, automate data, and ultimately backup and archive. The new release of the Autodesk hubs has brought this data solution to the forefront very quickly. Because if we are going to be talking about consolidation and moving data between the Autodesk hubs, the wider question of general consolidation comes up. So very briefly, and I'll give you some high level of our main 5 solutions. These again can be discussed in the private consultations. So what do we have? We've got a solution of migrating data from your local on-premise servers to cloud, and also vice versa. In the early days, all of the cloud adoption was through ease of access and sometimes a cost benefit. But what we're hearing from customers now is that actually sometimes data storage and cloud storage is starting to be quite costly. So the ultimate solution is to be able to have the ability to be able to move this data from cloud to prem and back again to suit the projects, to suit your storage, and ultimately to be able to suit your budget. So we've got a solution for that. We've also got platform to platform. Again, early adopters of the Autodesk cloud would have stored their data not only just in the US, but in BIM 360. Over time, the platform changed to the new generation of Autodesk cloud. And as Sean highlighted, created a new hub in a new region and now multiple hubs. So we are going to be able to have a solution to move historical BIM 360 data into ACC, taking advantage of the new features, the new functions, and the more improved open API to fit into your other business systems. Obviously, the main conversation today is hub to hub. So with all these new hubs being opened, with that expectation of client or project expectation, we can show you how we can move, not just once, but continuing movement from hub to hub, depending on the projects you're delivering and the sectors and industries that you are supplying. We've also got a solution around automation within the Autodesk cloud environment, setting up projects, being able to manage that supply chain, to be able to optimize the people that can engage on multiple projects, adding people, keeping management of that environment. We all know the benefit that the Autodesk cloud has given to us, the ability to be able to share data to deliver projects. However, that can come with some administrative roles. It can take time. We've got customers that are spending up to a day a week managing that environment. So we've got some automation solutions that we think that can even improve that benefit that the Autodesk cloud offers your businesses. And ultimately, how do I back up my data? How can I archive it? Of course, Autodesk cloud has got unlimited storage. We know this, but there's also some extra de-risking processes that our customers are asking us to explore, we've listened, and over the last few years, looking into backup, looking into intelligent archiving, not just archiving, but searchable archiving. Again, our industry sectors are telling us we want you to be able to back up your data for 10, 12, 15, in some sections, 25 years. However, you need to find that data when you need it. You need to search for it for either legacy usage or historical usage, or even just to reuse that data for other projects. So Symetri have come up with these main 5 solutions. Again, we'd really love to engage with you on a one-to-one to talk about what part, or what solution, or all of these solutions are actually you're facing, and how these should help you. And we can discuss these in the consultation sessions. So again, working with Symetri, Sean touched on it. We've talked about 5 very high level data solutions. That is just the tip of the iceberg. Data is the ultimate destination. But again, we're here to help you on the whole journey through design, through collaboration, through to construction, and everything in between, and everything associated with your businesses, your business challenges, your project challenges. Please engage with us. We're here to talk about helping you work smarter, helping you understand the newest, most up-to-date expectations and way we can deliver projects better for our clients. So if we just highlight the key takeaways from today. We spoke about data. We talked about it's everything. It's everything that we do today. It's creating, collaborating, and then moving on data, be that to the next stage of the project or ultimately to the client. We spoke about the importance of understanding where our data is stored today, understanding the benefits of consolidating that data to be able to reuse and push forward for the industry expectation, be it all the key phrases that everyone's talking about today: AI, digital twin, Building Safety Act, digital roadmaps. We need to be able to harness that data in one managed area, or have the ability to move it to wherever we like to move it for whatever purpose, easily, seamlessly, and at as little risk as possible. Next slide, please. Sean very well explained the new hubs, not only the legacy of Autodesk's journey when it came to data and servers, but actually how that's moved on to today, but also the limitations. We've seen the advantages. We know what this can mean to better project delivery, to be able to be aligning with client expectation and need. But there's limitations of us, and we clearly outlined that Symetri can help on that next stage. Next slide. And this is just a key phrase. We all know that smarter project delivery starts with smarter data management. Let us explain and work with you to understand how Symetri can help you consolidate your data to be able to have the ability to move data to wherever it needs to be that project delivery or meeting customer expectation, giving the customer the flexibility of ultimately where their data can be stored. And again, we may have mentioned it once or twice, we're offering a free consultation with the data team. If you book through the link, or you book through a link that we'll send out to you, your consultation with the relevant team will be free. I'd be really interested to find out your pressures and your challenges, and if Symetri's experience and solutions can help. There should be a free appointment link pop up on everyone's screen as well. While everyone's looking at that, again, there should be a link on the screen for you to be able to sign up for part 2, which will be practical tools and use cases. So again, a little bit more of a deep dive into that data journey. We've started off very high level about the hubs, which I think is relevant. It's only been very recently that that's been launched. We want to clear up and clarify the concerns around that. And we are going to be doing monthly webinars, picking different subjects, but all around that same message of consolidating and reusing data to be able to help you deliver your projects better, smarter, quicker.
Perfect.
And the Q&A. So Andrea, Sean, have you got questions that have come in from?
Yeah, there's a good few questions have come in, and we've kept that QR code to book the appointment. One came in is our Autodesk finally going to allow bridging across projects. Currently, we've no insight into whether they're going to be doing it or not. They're just creating the hubs, and what we're seeing is that it's using bridge only for reporting and the aspect between hubs, like RFIs and stuff, but they're all files and folders. Whereas our solutions will be able to do multiple aspects like previous versions of files and the likes. Another question came in, is Power BI still available to access all hubs through the data connector? Currently it is. I have yet to test the Japanese and the German hubs, but Power BI is just a connection to it. I don't see that much impacted.
Sean, there's a good question here for you, actually. If you've got data in another hub, what happens to all the date-stamped metadata? Does that stay intact, or do you lose that if you move data between hubs?
It will move across the metadata associated with the versions. It takes all the versions. You can turn that on or off through the migration process. That be it from BIM 360 to ACC, and it'll give you through the version history of it, the metadata associated to those versions. But we can have a chat with us in the consultation, and we can give a deep dive. And that's what the next session is to go in and just give a glimpse of what's available in the platforms.
I think it depends what data people have got, doesn't it, Sean, and what they're actually looking to achieve with it, which is really why we've offered the consultation session, because everybody's data is held maybe slightly differently and everybody needs to use it in a slightly different way, which is why we're giving those sessions if you don't want to discuss how your data is stored or what your needs are in open forum. There is a couple of other questions here. What in the EU hub is not available in the UK hub, i.e. are there differences between what is available on each of the hubs?
Yeah, currently it's phasing across. Docs is available by default across all the hubs, but there's some limitations on some where there's no BIM 360 on some of them. In some of them there are no Revit Cloud work sharing, as in design collaboration is not available on some, and build is not available on some as well. But we can have a deeper dive into this in the free consultation.
Okay.
Andrea, I think that question's highlighted some of those other points that I pointed out. Excuse me. Is that if you're talking about consolidation or moving between hub to hub, sometimes that consolidation process needs to happen. Hence the solutions that Symetri have put together, from taking BIM 360 data into ACC before you start moving from hub. So again, it's a workflow. It definitely needs to be roadmapped and understood, your long-term objectives, which we can fully scope for you, and then start giving you a phased approach.
Okay, that's brilliant. Thank you for that, Nathan. Will content catalog be available on the UK hub?
I've just responded to it there. I haven't tested it, but I can get back to that person giving the question. But we can have a look at it there.
Okay, that's fantastic.
Yeah, and someone has said, what happens if a bridge has been created between two projects across different companies if you move from one hub to another? I don't know what that means. So this is totally separate to bridge. It's not, this is, what we have is not an Autodesk solution. It's a Symetri developed one that's constantly in development. We can bridge across from hub to hub, be it BIM 360 to ACC. So that's no problem at all. And what we're currently nearly close to releasing is the Revit Cloud work sharing models. We have the ability to migrate them across as well with previous versions. Is there other ones as well there, Andrea?
There are quite a few more questions, but they're the same questions, but slightly worded differently.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's any other unique questions coming in at the moment, Sean.
There's one there I see. How can you see which hub you're currently working on? It's just down to the URL. You'll see it there. There's a GBP on the URL for the ACC. It's acc.autodesk.gbp.com, or sorry, .gbp. It's the same with Japan is JPN, Germany is GER. It's the same. You just tweak the URL. There's a feature in Account Admin where you can jump between different servers. It's just a globe on the top right hand corner. If you click on that, it gives you your available servers that you have been access to.
Yeah, I think the common ones they'll see will be, is it .com and .eu?
Yeah, that's the previous ones. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's when everyone's data will be stored now. So if you click on that, .com obviously will be US and EU will be EU.
Yep. Yeah, there's no. Feel free to throw in a few more questions. We're happy to answer them. Yeah, I just said, how much is the consultation? Yeah, it's a free consultation. Don't worry, there'll be no cost to you as a company.
We've obviously still got the QR code up on screen, so if people do want to book a consultation session to discuss their individual needs or understand how we can help them more, please feel free to scan the QR code and request that consultation session.
Yep.
We will also be doing a follow-up after today's webinar, which has been very well attended, and we will reach out to each individual company to connect and see what further support and help we can offer you as a business.
That's perfect. And like people have asked about the limitations. Like I only give a small, what would you say, overview of what's been released and its limitations with regards that they're isolated. But there are a few small. It depends on the server. If it was a Germany server, we can showcase through the consultation what different limitations. And there might be limitations that might not affect you as an organization, but we'd like to relay that to you as a customer. Oh,
Can a company have more than one local hub?
yes. Yes, you can create as many hubs as you want.
Perfect.
Yeah. There's no limitation to it. Before it was limitations, now there's no limitations. You could have 3 or 4 of them. No, does it include another charge? No, there's no charge. Once you have a subscription, you can create as many hubs as you want. But again, you're potentially creating a problem where you have multiple hubs, and their data is in one hub. You're not controlling where your data is. We're trying to advise customers to control it and try and reduce having multiple hubs. It's unless you have contractual obligations, unless you have to have these hubs, I would advise try and keep them in a controlled situation.
I think it depends on the projects, doesn't it, Sean?
Exactly.
But what we can actually do as a business is help and understand and advise of how to minimize any potential risk of duplication. So again, through our consultancy services, we can help and advise and understand how to minimize that impact to your business as well.
I think also for me, it will be good for the people on this call to reach out to their clients, to the wider project teams, and try and understand now these hubs are available. What is the expectation of these projects? What's the expectation of the industry sectors that you supply? because there hasn't been any availability, the US or the EU hub has been accepted and used. But now those options have been expanded upon. What will the expectation of those projects be?
Also, just a reminder that we have got a follow-up session to discuss the data needs, as this seems to be a changing subject almost bi-weekly at the moment. So if you do want to join us on part 2, please feel free to scan the QR code as well.
Yeah. And as Nathan mentioned, if you discuss this with your clients, because I've worked with a few data center companies where they assume that all their supply chain are working off a controlled server location, be it in the EU, but then they realize that their supply chain are working off US servers. And as a data center company, they might feel fearful that their data is within different geolocations. So it's just to discuss that, and we'll happily, through the consultation, advise both you or the client or any of the supply chain on how to combat this.
It does seem that the questions have started to dry up, which is good. I'm hoping that's because a lot of you with questions are planning to register for the free consultation. If that's the case, we do look forward to meeting with you again to start going into your specific questions, your specific needs, and to understand the full capability of our solutions to be able to help you move, automate, and back up your data.
Yep. And we even through those consultations, we might be able to assist on other challenges you have that are separate to this. It's all about us relaying our knowledge back to you as a customer, and our expertise and what we've developed for other organizations.
Okay, so
Perfect.
if there's no more questions coming through, I'd like to thank you for attending today. I'm hopefully that it started some thought processes with you and your colleagues. And again, we look forward to meeting with you all individually to start carrying these discussions on around the hubs, about your data, and how Symetri can help. Thanks everyone for attending, and we'll see you on the next session in October.
Thank you very much.
Have a good day, everybody.
Thank you.